What is up, y'all? It's your boy Charles. Charles on his word, the thumbs up button. So Lil Boosie was arrested today, man. He was acquitted for his first thing. He was dismissed. Well, it wasn't acquitted. He was dismissed for his first gun charge. But I guess the federal agent said he had another gun charge, and they took him to jail. Let me tell y'all something about this thing, man. I'm a big fan of Boosie. You know, it's funny. I used to didn't like Boosie. When Boosie first came into the game, I used to didn't like Boosie. I wasn't a big fan of Boosie. I didn't really like his music like that. You know what I'm saying? His voice was annoying to me. But you know what? I grew to love Boosie. Not love. I would say I grew to like Boosie when he started doing the Vlad interviews on YouTube. Like a lot of y'all have. A lot of y'all, I think YouTube, because you got to think before Vlad interviews, Boosie was kind of like, I mean, maybe like hardcore Boosie fans followed him and knew when he dropped albums and stuff like that. But before the Vlad interviews, Boosie was you didn't really hear much from him, like for some years. You know, after that song, what's that song he had? They always played in the club, "Wipe Me Down." He had that, and he had what's that song he had about independent women? He had that. It was him and another artist. Those two songs were the songs that kind of put him into like mainstream. But then after that, he kind of died out. But then he started doing the Vlad interviews, and they kind of put him back in the forefront. But my opinion on this whole thing is this: Boosie, it seemed like to me, he really is, from watching interviews and him talking about snitching and different rappers and the G code, gangster code, and the streets and all that. He really embraces wanting to be being a gangster. But it's like, I get confused, like, are you a gangster or are you a hip-hop? Are you a rapper? You can't be, this is what kills me about a lot of rappers, past and present. A lot of rappers, I would say like Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, old school guys, right? They looked at it as, we're not really gangsters. This is just the way that we are found a way to hustle this music thing, make some money, and be creative. You know, they found the niche. Because if you remember, they didn't show it in Straight Outta Compton, but Ice Cube, he was trying to be like a b-boy. He wasn't really trying to be like a gangster rapper. And then that didn't really fly, so that's when they kind of came with the whole gangsters that rap, you know what I'm saying, type thing. So I think they just looked at it as a niche. Boosie, I believe, he wants to be a gangster and an artist. You can't be both. You can't be running around here with guns and a felon, and then you got shows, you're traveling, you all over the place. Eventually, and then people are already watching you because you're a rich young black man, and I'm pretty sure all your crew is flossing. They see you all the jewels and the girls and the cars. So of course that makes the white folks watch you harder when you do that. You know, even if you're not doing anything, but if you are doing anything, that's gonna make them watch you harder. You know. If you're a felon and you're an entertainer and you carrying guns, those three don't mix. You either got to be a artist and then hire security to carry their gun legally to protect you. Why are you carrying a gun and you're a felon? See, these are things that, you know, I think, Boosie is really hood. He's hood Southern, you know, which is the difference. He's a hood Southern cat. And hood Southern cats don't understand that you can't roll. I think a lot of times cats get that paper from, especially, you know, hood cats from the South. They get that paper and think that, oh, I can do what I want to do. I can just pay for the lawyer and I ain't got, people respect me in the streets and all that kind of stuff. They don't care about none of that stuff, man. Especially if they can put you in that jail. And on top of that, you keep going to jail back and forth. You gotta get lawyers and attorneys. They just drain it. I mean, I don't know how much money Boosie got, but I'm pretty sure he ain't got no money to be paying lawyers. Cause you gotta pay lawyers some high. You're dealing with the FBI. You gotta pay money to some good lawyers to get out of that. He wanted to come out with maybe a couple $100,000 to get out of that. You know, and then the court costs. They be draining these rappers' pockets. Pac couldn't even bail himself out of jail with that rape case because he had so many cases going on, paying so many lawyers. All his money from his album sales were paying for the lawyers, to the point where he didn't have no money, to the point where Suge got to get him out of jail. Or maybe not Suge. I think they said it was Interscope that got him out of jail. Jimmy Iovine, but Suge was like the front man, but that's another story. But, you know, you can't, if either you're going to be a gangster or you're going to be entertaining. You can't do both, because it's not going to work out for you. Look what's happening with Boosie right now, you know. And it's funny, Carletto, it's a movie with Al Pacino called Carlito's Way. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a really good movie. Young, but I wouldn't say young Al Pacino. I would say middle-aged Al Pacino. This is when Al Pacino could still run, because the scenes in there where he's running, I'm like, Al Pacino can't run nowhere now. But I think he might have been maybe he was still kind of young. He might have been maybe in his 50s when he did Carlito's Way. Well did movie. John Leguizamo was in it, but he said a line in there where he said, well, Sean Penn was in it too. Sean Penn played a lawyer that was trying to be a gangster, because Al Pacino's character was trying to get out of the gangster lifestyle. Sean Penn was a lawyer and wanted to get into it, you know. And he told him, he said, you could either be a lawyer or a gangster. You can't do both. So that's true. You know that, you know. I don't know, but I hope Boosie gets this passed. I hope he doesn't have to go do any time. But they said he left I guess this is either before he got arrested or after he got arrested. I don't know how he was able to get his cell phone, but they said he put a text out. He said, I love all my kids and I love you guys forever, something like that. So that made it seem like he about to do some time. So I hope he doesn't have to do no time. Hope Boosie can come home. We don't need no more brothers behind. You know, he already got out of prison from almost on death row. So hopefully he ain't got to go back. I don't know, man. What do y'all think about Boosie in this whole case? You know what I'm saying? What's your opinion? Leave it in the comments and subscribe to Charles and Ezra. Appreciate you guys watching this video. Y'all take care.